Another element that just to wrap this up that I think it's very interesting, and it goes to how we assess students. This is something I noticed, especially in the last 10 years. When I first started teaching at the college level, my classes, even with my rigorous grading, tended to have a very pretty standard bell curve. However, the longer I taught, even though I've always had the same rigorous teaching standards, I want things done a certain way, I noticed that in my classes, the normal bell curve became inverted, and it became like this. Over many years, I started seeing that I don't have any students getting C's anymore. I would have a few who got A's, some who got B's, and I'd have a ton of kids getting D's and F's. So that's another element of this that no one really talks about. But the number of students who go to college, as I've said for many episodes, the number of students has increased to a point where everyone goes to college now. And that means since everyone's going, that we're letting in way more students who don't deserve to be there. Now we have kids who deserve to be in college, they're doing fine, and a bunch of kids who don't deserve to be in college. And I saw that play out in my class with an inverted bell curve. There's kids who get it and kids who don't. That's the difference. And that's where our schools are at. The bell curve collapsed. In the middle, where all the C's and average kids normally were, have disappeared because they're actually now bad students. I would have, again, some more A students, more B students, and then a ton of D and F students. And I had almost nobody in the middle. But that's how all school is now, especially assuming the professors are grading properly, which they might not be. That's actually how it is across the wider spectrum of all college students. Is there's kind of a pass, and there's kind of these students would fail. Like, well, I've got half my class is doing pretty well, or in my situation, it was more like 20% of my class was doing well and 80% was not. So I'm like, well, how do I teach 80% of kids who shouldn't even be in college while still making it rigorous and fair, but also a bit of a challenge for that 20%? And that's what happens when you let so many people in that shouldn't be there. It doesn't sort in the bell curve. It sorts in the opposite. Kids who can do it and the kids who can't. That's what happens.